Hello, agro lovers, farm owners, and agripreneurs in the house. Welcome back to your favorite agricultural and agribusiness YouTube channel. On today's episode is going to be a special one as I'll be talking about another important economic crop, which is the cocoa farming. I'll be talking about profitable cocoa farming in Nigeria, how you can go about it, how you can do it profitably, what are the do's and don'ts, the establishment procedure, the management practices, and everything that surround this crop. Cocoa is another permanent crop, very, very wonderful one. It's an foreign income earner. It's an export crop, and Nigeria used to be one of the major players of cocoa export in the 1960s. But what we have now is Cote d'Ivoire as the number one global exporter of cocoa in the whole world. But the situation is not something to write home about because in the whole of West Africa that produce cocoa to feed the whole world, we export cocoa in its raw form. 80 to 90% of cocoa from Nigeria, Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire are being exported in the raw form to countries in Europe and America, and we end up buying chocolate in return. That's a story for another day. But the reason why I'm talking about cocoa is for some people who don't have interest in oil palm. So I'll be talking about cocoa because cocoa is on the high side now. A kg of cocoa is going for about 4,000 naira to 5,000 naira, and that is massive. And cocoa price has been up. I've not heard of cocoa price coming down. So it's something that if you are looking for a long-term investment, you are looking for something that can earn you foreign income, something that will be there for generation. Cocoa is another thing you should look after. So if you want to do cocoa farming in Nigeria, what are those things you should get in place if you want to do it profitably? The number one thing I'll be talking about is the crop itself. Cocoa is a permanent crop. We can say it's a tree crop, but it's not a true tree. It's a shrub because it's not a true tree, but it's a shrub. It does well in the tropical rainforest. So it's not something you can do across the whole country of Nigeria. It is restricted to zones like southwest, southeast, and some part of south-south. So those are the areas you can do cocoa farming profitably because it requires a ample supply of rain across the year, most part of the year. And if you want to do cocoa profitably, you should be looking for a soil that is well drained, fertile, very, very fertile, sandy loamy that is rich in organic nutrient. So those are the things you need to get in place for cocoa. So also, if you want to do cocoa profitably, you'll be looking at hybrid variety. So the research institute in charge of cocoa improvement is in Nigeria is CRIN, Cocoa Research Institute of Nigeria, which is located in Ibadan. They are charged with the responsibility of genetic improvement of cocoa in Nigeria, and also distribution of improved cocoa seeds to farmers. So cocoa is another thing. It's being grown. It's being grown for its seed majorly. So the major product derived from cocoa is the cocoa bean, which is used in the production of cocoa powder, chocolate, and everything like that. So, having said that, the maturity period, if you want to establish a cocoa plantation, having selected a mature land in a very, very favorable agroecological condition, you look out for where you can source for your hybrid variety. So you don't plant cocoa seed on the farm, you plant cocoa seedling. Cocoa seedling are being raised for 4 months to 6 months of age. So when it is around 4 to 6 months of age, they are mature enough to be planted on the farm. So, and the planting of cocoa usually take place within May and June when the rain is very, very established. Cocoa is not that rugged like the oil palm. So you don't want to do it when the rain is not fully established. So talking about the establishment, Cocoa is being planted in a spacing of 2.5 meter by 2.5 meter, which will give you something about 2,000, close to 2,000 seedlings uh, trees per hectare. Or if you are using 3 meter by 3 meter, these are the two preferred spacing in cocoa. If you are using 2 meter by 2 meter, then you'll be have 3 meter by 3 meter, I mean, you'll be having about 1,100 to 1,200 per hectare. So, and the yield for cocoa from an hectare is about 1 ton to 3 tons. So, it's now left for you to calculate. When I say cocoa is a money spinner, is something that will earn you foreign exchange in. And a kg, a kg goes for a kg goes for 4,000, 5,000 naira at this present moment. And in a well-managed plantation of an hectare where you have 1,000 to 2,000 trees, you should be able to be looking at a minimum of around one ton to 3 tons averagely, depending on how you manage it well and all other agronomic practices. So you can do the calculation yourself and know what you'll be taking on. And it's a permanent crop also, though the economic lifespan is not as that long as the oil palm or the coconut. The economic lifespan of cocoa is around 25 years before you see the trees not performing so well. So the cultural practices, cocoa, just like any other tree crop, have its own uh, diseases and pests, which I think I'll be discussing in my next video about cocoa farming. So, having established your farm, what are the things you'll be needing to do? In a young plantation from the year you establish to around 3 to 4 years, you have to do regular weeding. You have to go there often and often to weed because it's a shrub. So you have to weed for about 3 to 4 times in a year, even 5 times in a year, because it's being grown in a rainforest where there is ample amount of rain, and this will lead to weed growth. So it's only after the fifth year you can reduce your weeding to about 2 times in a year. So another management practice in cocoa farming is the practice of pruning. Is very, very important because it has been found to improve yield in cocoa farming. If you don't prune your cocoa trees, the production, they will just be diverting the attention and the nutrients into growing of trunk and branches, and that will negatively impact the production of pods. So it's something you should look into and do it very well. I think I'll be making another video concerning pruning and other management in cocoa farming. So talking about the maturity is we have some variety that is about 18 months now, developed by the Cocoa Research Institute. But normally, the average maturity time of cocoa is 2 years, 2 years plus or 2 years. So, which is still very fine. Another thing is you have to be very, very conversant in cocoa farming if you want to do it profitably. Is the issue of intercropping. Intercropping is being done in cocoa for two reasons. The number one reason is for you to use your intercrop to provide shade. And that is why you see most of the cocoa plantation, the cocoa farmer use plantain to intercrop because cocoa needs shade at least in the first 2 years of establishment before they will grow fully. And that is why their spacing is that very close. And also you need intercropping, you need to plant some trees around the borders of your farm to prevent wind and to prevent the breakage and the damage of your cocoa trees. So these are the two reasons why cocoa farming, cocoa intercropping is done in cocoa. Cocoa is a very, very wonderful crop. Uh, it's an export crop. Everybody loves cocoa. If you do it, you don't have to be running after market. Whenever they know you are a cocoa farmer, people will come ahead of time, ahead of the harvesting time, and give you money. They will deposit money for you against the next season for you to supply them. and it's something you can do profitably and pass on to generation. An hectare of cocoa can give you up to 3 tons on an hectare. And if you calculate that, if a kg is going for 4,000 naira and you have about 1,000 kg in a ton, so you do the calculation yourself. And one thing, another wonderful thing about cocoa is that you don't really have to do much to sell it, unlike the oil palm. All what you need to do is harvest it on time. Make sure you don't harvest too early and make sure you don't harvest it too late. If you harvest it too late, it will lead to destruction and even disease introduction into your farm. So you harvest it at the optimum time, break it open, make sure you leave it for some maybe 4 to 6 days before you break it open. You remove it and you ferment the beans. After the fermentation, we'll talk about drying. Then after drying, you can sell your cocoa beans and you'll be smiling to the bank. So I think on the next video, I'll be running a comparison. Some people who are maybe contemplating on which tree crop to establish. Maybe is it cashew, is it oil palm, is it cocoa? I'll be running comparison between cocoa versus cashew and cocoa versus oil palm. With this, I think I've been able to at least introduce you to cocoa, how you can do cocoa profitably in Nigeria. I can tell you, if you do it well, you can never go wrong with it and you'll be smiling to the ground. It's a sure banker crop. I can bet you with that. You just have to be very sure where you are going to establish. Make sure you select your soil very well. You select your location very well, and you plant the improved variety. Cocoa have some couple of disease and pests, which we'll be discussing in the next episode. I think you'll be able to get some value from this video, and I hope you enjoy your time spending your time on this channel. If you are watching for the first time, my name is Awalusha Lawa, and I'm a farmer by training, by education, and by practice. This channel is dedicated to promote sustainable and profitable agriculture. So thank you for your time and see you on the next one. Sheshe.